Columbia Institute of Technology acknowledges that our campuses are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish nations of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh.
Good morning. My name is Gabrielle Rui, and we start with your local headliner for the Lapu-Lapu Festival. During a court hearing last May 2nd, Judge Reg Harris ordered that mental health professionals assess whether the suspect in the Lapu-Lapu Festival tragedy, Adam Kaiji Low, is fit for trial. My producer, Braden Goodman, has more on the story.
Thanks, Gabby. Low appeared by video during the court hearing. He is facing 8 charges of second-degree murder and is known to have a history of interactions with the RCMP, all related to mental health issues. Judge Harris set Lowe's next appearance for May 30th. Both the hearing and the case are subject to a broad publication ban that Harris says is to protect the fairness of the trial process. Judge Harris says the purpose of the ban is to not restrict public information, but to protect the process going forward. Also, in other local news headlines, our reporter Emmer Bolsner is covering the Jewish Heritage Festival happening tomorrow. We've got Jonah Jung downtown covering the Red Dress event. And finally, Caroline Doyle is taking a look at the Amateur Film Festival and how it relates to a broader tariff ban set to hit Hollywood North. Back to you, Gabby.
Moving on to provincial news, the BC government, in partnership with BC Hydro, is launching a plan to harness British Columbia's clean electricity advantage. Premier David Eby said in a statement this morning that he hopes to boost clean energy supply, power growing communities, and create thousands more jobs, all while reducing pollution. In order to pull this off, he has announced the Clean Power Action Plan, which is a strategy to accelerate economic growth and secure long-term energy stability. In national news, Alberta's Chief Medical Officer of Health says 3 people are currently in hospital receiving intensive care after contracting measles. Dr. Sunil Sukram says there have been no deaths, but the province has confirmed more than 200 cases of the disease over the past 2 months. He says the situation is not considered out of control, but it is concerning.
Up until now, we thought the disease had been eradicated, but things have changed. Measles is now circulating in several areas in our province, and it's quite concerning.
Health Minister Adriana LaGrange says the majority of cases have been seen in those who aren't vaccinated, which is why the province is launching a new advertising campaign later this month to encourage Albertans to get vaccinated. In Ontario, the last of 8 girls accused in the death of a homeless Toronto man has pleaded guilty to manslaughter. Reporter Naira Ahmed has more on the story.
The girl was scheduled to go on trial on a charge of second-degree murder this week in the death of Kenneth Lee. The 59-year-old died after he was swarmed by a group of teens in downtown Toronto in December of 2022. 8 girls between the ages of 13 and 16 were charged with second-degree murder. 7 have since pleaded guilty to lesser charges, 5 to manslaughter, 1 to assault, and 1 to assault causing bodily harm and assault with a weapon. 1 girl is awaiting a verdict later this month after a judge-alone trial. Naira Ahmed, The Canadian Press.
Moving on to international news, speaking with Reporters Sunday, U.S. President Donald Trump said other nations are stripping America's movie-making industry, and he blames California Governor Gavin Newsom, among others.
We're making very few movies now. Hollywood is being destroyed. Now, you have an incompetent, grossly incompetent governor that allowed that to happen. So I'm not just blaming other nations, but other nations, a lot of them, have stolen our movie industry.
And finally, it's the first Monday in May. It's Met Gala time, and the theme this year is menswear. Specifically, the dress code will focus on Black dandyism, tailoring, and style. The guest list amounts to about 450 high-profile people from tech, sports, art, and entertainment, and more. This is the first Met Gala to focus exclusively on Black designers, and the first in more than 20 years to have a menswear theme. Among the hosts are Pharrell Williams, Lewis Hamilton, Coleman Domingo, and A$AP Rocky. And those are your news headlines for 11 o'clock. I'm Gabrielle Rui, and you're listening to BCIT's The Crow.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikki-King.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretanero.
And I'm Radhika Sikki-King. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.
Do I go?
We're live.
Good morning. I'm Jenny Sung, and these. Good morning. I'm Jenny Sung, and these are your 11:10 sports news.
No.
3 out of 5 Canadian teams in the NHL playoffs this year advanced to round 2. The Winnipeg Jets advanced to round 2 after last night's win in second overtime against the St. Louis Blues.
To score 2 with the goalie out and, just have life and, Fets to really bring the building to its feet, with 1.5 seconds left, it was incredible.
Tonight, the Toronto Maple Leafs meet the Florida Panthers for Game 1 in the second round. Toronto is coming off a 7-game series win against the Boston Bruins, while the Panthers knocked out Tampa in 6. Leafs captain says the team is ready to face the defending Cup champions.
Leading into this, just feel like we're a prepared group, we're ready to go, and we know that the challenge that lies ahead, and it's just taking it one step at a time.
The game is tonight at 5 p.m. local time tonight. The NHL Draft Lottery is happening, and we will find out which team will be getting the overall number 1 pick. For the first time in history, the lottery will be televised. The San Jose Sharks are at the top of the list, sitting at over 25% chance to get the first pick overall. Vancouver Canucks are looking like they will get the 15th round pick this year. The Blue Jays just signed both right-handers Spencer Turnbull and Jose Urena to 1-year MLB contracts. The Toronto Blue Jays play against the LA Angels tomorrow evening at 6:38 local time. The Blue Jays are currently 3rd in the American League East. Last month, the Hockey Canada sexual assault trial started and is still ongoing. A mistrial led to a temporary pause in the case, and all former junior hockey players Alex Formenton, Michael McLeod, Carter Hart, Dylan Dubé, and Callan Foote have pleaded not guilty to the charges of the alleged incident that happened back in 2018. Michael McLeod additionally pleaded not guilty to another charge of being a party to the offense of the sexual assault. A new jury was picked after the mistrial, and the former hockey players will be back on the stand in court Monday. The Golden State Warriors advanced to the second round after their win against the Houston Rockets last night. Tonight, the Boston Celtics and the New York Knicks meet at 4 p.m. local time for round 2, game 1 of the NBA playoffs. Following is the Denver Nuggets against the Oklahoma City Thunder at 6:30 local time. And it was just announced that Sidney Crosby will be joining Team Canada at the 2025 Men's World Hockey Championships. This will be Crosby's 3rd time representing Team Canada, first in 2006, 2015, and now 2025. The World Championship will be held May 9th to the 25th in Herning, Denmark, and Stockholm, Sweden. This was your 11:10 news update. I'm Jenny Sung, and you're listening to BCIT's The Crow.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.